Moving on to number 13 in our list, we find a familiar face from the hit TV series Friends, Matthew Perry. Despite his success on screen, Perry faced long-standing struggles with substance abuse, particularly with prescription medication. His battle with addiction began during the filming of the beloved show and persisted throughout his career, leading to several stints in rehab and multiple publicized incidents related to his drug use. Mischa Barton, a talented actress known for her roles in productions like James Lapine's 12 Dreams and the popular American soap opera All My Children, unfortunately found herself in the throes of drug addiction. Details: after years of success, Barton experienced a rapid decline, with her life becoming dominated by her struggle to access substances like Adderall, Xanax, and Norco. Reports indicate that Mischa was spiraling out of control, desperately seeking drugs to manage her deteriorating mental state. Further information reveals that on her 31st birthday, things took a disturbing turn when she was spotted standing on a fence in her West Hollywood backyard, screaming hysterically about the end of the world. Neighbors, alarmed by her erratic behavior, called emergency services. She was hospitalized that night, and afterward, Barton claimed that her drink had been spiked with GHB, a date rape drug, during her birthday party. However, those close to her believed her behavior was a result of long-standing substance abuse. The truth behind her claims remains a mystery. Brittany Murphy, number 13 on the list, is an actress many fondly remember for her roles in iconic productions such as the movie Clueless and the television show Freeway. Although her public persona was charming and talented, rumors of drug use surrounded Murphy for years, despite no official confirmation during her life. At the young age of 32, Brittany's life came to a tragic end in December 2009. And while the initial reports claimed natural causes, the circumstances of her death were considered suspicious. Friends and fans found it hard to believe that someone so young and seemingly healthy could die so suddenly. It was suspected that Murphy had been using heroin and cocaine regularly, as many pointed to her drastic weight loss and erratic behavior in the years before her death. Her marriage to Simon Monjack, a troubled man with many issues of his own, only compounded the instability in her life. Monjack himself died just months after Murphy, further fueling speculation of foul play. While some, including Brittany's brother and father, still believe her death was the result of murder, the coroner's office attributed it to a combination of prescription drugs found at her bedside. Her death remains a tragic loss, and her struggle with addiction and the pressures of Hollywood serve as a sobering reminder of the challenges faced by those in the public eye. Macaulay Culkin was a household name thanks to his role in Home Alone, becoming one of the biggest child stars in Hollywood. However, his rise to fame came with significant challenges. From a young age, he was thrust into the public eye while facing a tumultuous home life. His father, Kit Culkin, was known for being cruel and violent, and the messy separation of his parents added to the stress he experienced as a child. By his teenage years, Culkin was deeply paranoid about his family's intentions, particularly regarding his trust fund, which had ballooned to around $20 million. This fear led to a highly publicized legal battle, where Culkin effectively sought to divorce his parents to retain control over his finances. By the time he was 15, Culkin was grappling with the complexities of fame and wealth amid family conflict, which pushed him toward drug abuse. In 2004, his arrest in Oklahoma for possession of marijuana and 2 controlled substances shocked fans, with his mugshot revealing a gaunt and unwell appearance. Despite these hardships, Culkin eventually turned his life around, finding stability and happiness in his relationship with fellow child star Brenda Song. Today, he lives a quieter life, but the struggles he faced serve as a powerful reminder of the pitfalls that often accompany child stardom. Judy Garland, born as Frances Gumm in 1922, is remembered as one of the most iconic actresses in Hollywood, with her role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz immortalizing her in cinema history. Yet, behind the scenes, Garland's life was marked by an ongoing battle with drug addiction that began at a tragically young age. Signed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer as a teenager, Garland faced immense pressure to maintain a certain image. Studio executives were relentless in criticizing her physical appearance, deeming her unattractive, and enforcing strict control over her weight. Garland's mother reportedly gave her energy pills and sleeping pills before she was even 10 years old, setting the stage for her lifelong dependency on drugs. As she transitioned into Hollywood, the pressure only intensified. MGM executives provided her with amphetamines to keep her energized during long shooting schedules, and then sedated her with sleeping pills to help her rest. This vicious cycle continued throughout her career, with Garland later recounting how she and co-star Mickey Rooney were subjected to these harsh routines. By the time she was 17, Garland was already struggling with addiction, and it only worsened as she became MGM's most visible star. A series of nervous breakdowns followed, and ultimately, Garland died of a drug overdose at the age of 47, leaving behind a legacy marred by the pressures of Hollywood and the destructive impact of addiction. Mickey Rooney, Garland's co-star in many MGM productions, shared a similar experience when it came to the demands of the studio system. However, Rooney denied ever being given drugs by MGM executives, despite Garland's accounts to the contrary. Regardless of the truth, Rooney's life was also plagued by addiction. His stepson publicly accused him of being a violent husband, with much of his abusive behavior attributed to his addiction to sleeping pills. Behind his charming public persona, Rooney struggled with mood swings and a reliance on prescription medication, which eventually took a toll on his personal life and relationships. Despite being one of the last remaining stars of Hollywood's golden age, Rooney's life was far from glamorous behind closed doors. Joanna Moore, known as one of Hollywood's golden girls, saw her career take a sharp downward spiral as she became ensnared by alcohol and drug addiction. At the height of her career, Moore had starred in over 17 feature films and guest starred in over 100 television episodes, but her personal life was deeply troubled. In a time when addiction was seen as a moral failure rather than a medical issue, Moore's struggles were met with limited options for help. She sought psychiatric treatment in the 1970s, but just a year later she was arrested for drunk driving. This arrest led to the loss of custody of her children, including her daughter, Tatum O'Neal, who went on to become a famous child star. Despite attempts to get her life back on track, Moore's addiction worsened after her divorce from actor Ryan O'Neal, and her personal life became consumed by amphetamines and alcohol. She moved to a rundown ranch, where her children lived in deplorable conditions, facing abuse at the hands of Moore's teenage boyfriend. Her addiction ultimately led to her death from lung cancer in 1997. Marilyn Monroe, one of the most famous actresses in Hollywood history, captivated audiences with her beauty and charm. But behind her glamorous exterior was a woman deeply troubled by substance abuse, mental health issues, and the pressures of fame. Monroe struggled with severe depression and paranoia, which led her to rely on alcohol and drugs to cope with her emotional pain. Her death in 1962 from an overdose of barbiturates shocked the world, and in the years since, many have speculated about the circumstances surrounding her demise. Monroe's personal writings, published posthumously, revealed a deeply insecure woman battling loneliness and depression, compounded by the scrutiny and exploitation she faced as a public figure. Despite her tragic end, Monroe's legacy endures, with fans continuing to celebrate her iconic roles and beauty, though her life remains a cautionary tale of the dark side of fame. Britney Spears, often dubbed the Princess of Pop, revolutionized the music industry with her chart-topping hits and energetic performances. However, as her fame skyrocketed, so did the public scrutiny of her personal life. Spears' battle with drug addiction became widely publicized after her divorce from Kevin Federline in 2006, leading to a series of highly publicized breakdowns. Her erratic behavior, including shaving her head and attacking paparazzi, raised concerns about her mental health. Spears entered rehab multiple times, and after being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, she eventually found stability and made a remarkable comeback. Despite her struggles, she remains an influential figure in pop culture and continues to perform to this day. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, captivated the world with his music and charisma, but behind the fame, he struggled with addiction. In 1977, Presley was found dead at the age of 42, and a subsequent toxicology report revealed high levels of opiates, including Demerol, Percodan, and Quaaludes, in his system. His personal physician, Dr. George Nichopoulos, later admitted to prescribing thousands of doses of addictive drugs to Presley in the years leading up to his death. Although Dr. Nick claimed he had tried to manage Presley's addiction by occasionally giving him placebos, it was clear that Presley's dependency on prescription drugs had reached a lethal level. Elvis's sudden death shocked the world, and while his music continues to inspire, his struggle with addiction remains a tragic chapter in his life story. Michael Jackson, known globally as the King of Pop, achieved unparalleled success throughout his career, but his life was deeply affected by addiction. His introduction to painkillers came after an accident during a Pepsi commercial in 1984, in which he sustained second-degree burns. Jackson's dependency on opioids grew over the years, and despite entering rehab in 1993, he struggled with addiction for the rest of his life. Friends and family attempted multiple interventions, but Jackson denied the extent of his problem. In 2009, Jackson died of cardiac arrest due to a lethal combination of sedatives, including propofol, administered by his personal physician. His doctor was later charged with involuntary manslaughter, but Jackson's legacy continues to shine, with fans mourning the loss of one of the greatest performers in history. Daniel Baldwin, the second oldest Baldwin brother, is known for his acting career and for his infamous battle with cocaine addiction. In 1998, Baldwin made headlines after being arrested for running naked through the halls of New York's Plaza Hotel while under the influence of cocaine. His addiction had started in 1989 and spiraled out of control over the next decade. Despite multiple stints in rehab, 9 in total, Baldwin eventually overcame his addiction and went on to become a rehabilitation coach, using his experiences to help others battling substance abuse. Jeff Conaway, best known for his role as Kenickie in Grease, struggled with addiction for much of his life. His participation in Vion's Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew brought his battle with cocaine, alcohol, and painkillers into the public eye. Conaway had sustained a back injury while filming the greased lightning scene in Grease, and the pain from this injury contributed to his dependence on prescription drugs. Despite undergoing several rounds of treatment, Conaway's addiction persisted, and in 2011, he was found unconscious from what was believed to be an overdose. He never fully recovered, and his death later that year was a somber reminder of the devastating impact of addiction. Beginning her career at a young age, Jodie Sweetin became a household name for her role as Stephanie Tanner on the popular show Full House. However, behind the scenes, Sweetin faced a troubling battle with addiction that shocked many of her fans. At just 14 years old, she started drinking alcohol, and over the next 13 years, her substance abuse escalated dramatically. She turned to ecstasy, methamphetamine, and crack cocaine, each taking a toll on her life. In her memoir Unsweetened, she shared deeply personal stories, including a particularly emotional moment when she spoke at a university event while still recovering from a 2-day binge. This moment highlighted the struggle and turmoil she faced during those years. Despite her challenges, Sweetin found the strength to achieve sobriety in 2008. She now dedicates her life to helping others as a drug and alcohol counselor, drawing from her own experiences to guide those on similar paths. Sweetin's journey is marked by resilience, even after a setback in 2013, showcasing her commitment to recovery and hope for the future. Matthew Perry's struggles with substance abuse have been well documented throughout his career, showcasing the harsh reality of addiction, even in the glitzy world of Hollywood. Despite his success on screen, Perry's battle with prescription medication addiction serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that even the most recognizable faces can be affected by the destructive nature of drugs. His journey through multiple rehab stints and publicized incidents sheds light on the challenges of maintaining sobriety in an industry known for excess and pressure. As we reflect on Perry's experience, we are reminded of the importance of seeking help and support in overcoming addiction, no matter one's level of fame or success in the spotlight.